Val Allman, 69.48. And look what you've got on your neck. You got a world gold. How does that feel?
I just can't believe it. You know, I think for me and my story, it's been a lot about not earning the gold medal world championship. So I feel like I didn't realize maybe how much it was weighing on me until they gave it to me tonight. And it felt like a really beautiful, complete circle to become an Olympic champion and a world champion, both in Tokyo, was really special.
Yeah, I mean, coming into this competition today, like, what were the emotions, I guess, on, like, the way to the track, like, warming up, knowing, you know, you've been at this stage before, and we saw what happened in Eugene, we know what happened in Budapest. Like, what was kind of going through your head this morning or this afternoon?
Honestly, vibes were good. You know, like, I love competing, and I felt excited to attack it. Training has been going really well. I felt like in our plan, we'd been talking about things building to Tokyo, and I found myself a bit surprised that I just felt a little disconnected from my body when the competition started. So I know I definitely felt like I was in a vulnerable position with only 67 on the board, and I mean, with how things have played out in the past, I always know someone can get thank you. So it felt, I knew that I was capable of more. So the 69 felt good, but I would have loved to be able to challenge myself more and execute at a higher level.
Yeah, was there kind of stress building throughout those early rounds where you were like, you know, you were still leaving the door open a little bit?
Yeah, I definitely felt that, and it's so interesting when I like think back on things. I think in hindsight, I wish that when I got third in Eugene and silver in Budapest, I would have celebrated those. I fully recognize that if you only have the goal of winning and you're gonna let your season be defined by how just the global championship goes and you don't win, it's really hard to feel good. And there was so much good that happened those years, and it was meant to be for me that, and it led to so many moments of growth for me of how I wanted to handle myself and be mentally stronger and push myself, that I think the success over the last 2 years wouldn't have happened had Budapest played out the way it did. So I think tonight when I found myself in a situation, I was like, I just need to make a change, and I know that we've put in years of executing, years of discipline, years of technical focus, that I just needed to make the change and do it. So the 69.50 felt good, but when coming into this, you're talking about trying to challenge a championship record, it felt more like a relief than like nailing that big throw.
Yeah. Are those kind of in competition, I guess, mindset adjustments? Like, is that something you're going over and talking to Zeb about between throws, or is that more you're working on that, you're kind of just dialed in?
Yeah. I think it's a definitely a team effort. You know, Zeb is my rock, and I'm so excited to talk to him more. But he just seemed like the coolest of cucumbers over there, like telling me I got it, telling me like, okay, this is the round, we're gonna do it. Like, the fact he never seemed stressed really gave me confidence to just believe that each round I was right on the cusp of finally lining it up and hitting that big throw. But it always feels like competitions go by slow when you're out there. Like, every round it feels like an hour of like just waiting until your next turn in the ring. So I was just doing my best to stay positive and do the drills that we always do, and just kind of have that like positive mindset that it was going to click.
Was there a bit of an exhale after round 5, or did you not let yourself get there until that final throw in round 6?
God, it was like, there was definitely a moment after round 5 when it popped up on the board. I honestly, based on how the throw felt, didn't think that it went as far as it did, but I thought the 69 mid had a chance of being a gold medal throw. So I definitely got like that emotional feeling of like, maybe, you know, like maybe this is the moment. But I've also been in situations where my competitors then have in round 5 had huge throws, and you have to respond. So I know until it's over to definitely not bank on anything, and that's the beauty of field events. But I just try to prepare myself for round 6 if I had to respond.
You officially cap off 2 straight unbeaten years tonight. Like, is that like a stat that feels real to you? Because I know there were some that were a little dicey earlier on in the season, but you still found a way to fight back and get those wins there.
Yeah, I truthfully, like, I have awareness of it, but I don't really think of it. I think we just like always talk about taking it one meet at a time, and I think that approach is what's led to so many meets going well. But it is crazy to think about. I mean, I can replay every single meet over the last 2 years, and each one was such a beautiful data point. And I think that's what I've come to appreciate so much about throwing the discus as a profession, is taking it all over the world, getting to share it with people, getting to do it with my fiance, my family. I mean, the experiences it's yielded has just been incredible.
Is Women's Discus in the World Ultimate Championships next year? I figured it wasn't because they don't have any good events in there.
Yes.
No disrespect to the Hammer.
No.
I should apologize for that. But now, you've had the last 4 years end with a global champion, 5 years end with a global championship.
Yeah.
How do you guys go about goal setting for 2026 when it comes to that?
I think step number one is we will have goals for 2026. I don't think there's no global championship, but it's definitely not an off year. So I'm excited to attack it. I think that there's definitely more to be had at Ramona, which is something that I think we're going to really target for 2026, and continuing to just be on the circuit, be competitive, try to put up big marks around the world is really motivating to me, especially to set myself up for 27 and 28. I think that I feel like in my story there's more to be written, and I want to represent myself in a way that I haven't still done at globals. So I'm hoping that when Beijing comes and LA comes, there's some really exciting stuff to be had.
I think we need to see ASICS needs to put on like a breaking 77 and they need to get you guys like a wind tunnel in Austin that you can just train in. So when you go to Ramona, it's like, this is just cake for you now.
I feel like, I need to bring out my engineering degree, and like really hack it out, because I think it is exciting. I've felt passionate that it's fun to challenge the history books, and when you're going up against so many marks that were set in the 1980s, it's hard to conceptualize how far a 65-meter throw is or a 67-meter throw is, but it's really special when you do get to see a discus fly and what the men have done to push that boundary. I'm excited to get back there and attack it more in a specific way. I feel like when I went last time, I threw in a stadium, which I think is not the most advantageous way to throw when there is that steady wind. So it'll be fun. Maybe, hopefully I can improve. I think that it'll be possible, but you never know in the wild, wild west of Oklahoma.
Yeah, and I mean, you mentioned history and kind of referencing back to the 80s, and tonight, first time since I believe the 88 Olympic final with 8 women over 65. How much fun was it to be in that kind of competitive environment where just everyone was having really, really good night?
Oh gosh, well.
Was it fun or stressful?
If I was throwing better, like if I had opened at 69, I would have been like, this is awesome, our event's on fire, it's great. But I think I just kind of felt vulnerable the whole time. I think that I have so much respect for my other competitors, and we had 2 new medalists in our event tonight in silver and bronze, that there's so many women that are hungry and capable of big throws. So when I started seeing 65 pops up, I was like, damn, I need to get myself together because someone could easily pop one off. But that is a cool stat. I mean, I think it's what is so special about the globals is a lot of us compete against each other around the world all the time, but there's jet lag, there's travel, there's different unique situations. But for this, everyone brings their A game. Everyone comes over, everyone does training camps, everyone prepares as optimally as possible to be at their best. So it's exciting to see what the results can be.
Jorinde van Klinken, 67.50. You finally get that global medal.
Yep.
How are we feeling right now?
It's a great feeling to finally get the medal, obviously. I think I was ready for the past 2 championships to medal, and it just didn't happen. So it's obviously great if you finally manage to do it, so I'm really proud of that.
Yeah, I know you've been talking a lot this year about how like every competition you've been throwing well and you've still been frustrated at the end of it. Is there any of that frustration left after this one, or does that medal kind of wash it away?
There's a lot left, unfortunately. To be honest, I didn't come here to throw 67. But the thing is, at championships, the medals only matter. So I think it will sink in later tonight that I am second in the world as a 25-year-old thrower, which is a pretty unique performance. So I think it will be washed away later. But for now, it's hard to just feel the happiness for me.
Yeah, I mean, you were 4th at each of the last 2 world championships coming into this one. Like, what's kind of been the difference this year to get you over that edge? It feels like you've been a lot more consistent meet to meet this year maybe than in years previous.
Yeah, I was really consistent. My practices were also very consistent, and also most of them were really outstanding, so much better than I've ever been. I think I felt like I could break the 70-meter line for the past couple of years. This year, I was even more sure I could break it. I don't know why it keeps not happening, but honestly, I know it'll come again, and yeah. it's good to finally get the medal.
Yeah, and I know you've talked about how like this year is the first year where you've been throwing better in training than you have been in meets.
Yeah.
When you're seeing those kind of results, like how do you stay out of your head when it does get to a meet scenario?
So it actually works the other way for me. I think to see those marks in practice, I usually honestly throw about 5 meters more in the meet, so that would mean some pretty big marks. So I actually only take it as adding it to my confidence, but obviously we do need to find out why I didn't overperform in the meet compared to my training this year. I think I was ready to do it, so for some reason it just didn't happen.
Yeah, now focusing kind of on tonight, 67.50 right off the bat, and then put together a really good series, I think a couple more over 66. What was working for you in the ring tonight?
I think my body just knew what to do, and I think those small little details that could have made it go really far, I just didn't line them up together. So I think these were just average throws for me, which sounds so stupid, but yeah. The big one will come eventually.
All right, well, we'll be waiting on that one.
Thank you.
Vanessa Kamga, Swedish record, 4th in the world, 66.61. How are we feeling right now?
Amazing. Over the moon, really. I'm so happy to be my best self as an athlete here on the world stage. Last year at the Olympics, I set a national record there as well. I PR'd in the qualifications, and then I did what would have been a Swedish record if I hadn't PR'd in the qualifications in the finals. So doing it again here a year later at the Worlds, I'm super geeked.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you did the same thing at Paris last year. So when you're coming into these competitions, what are you kind of telling yourself to make sure you can be your best self when the lights are the brightest?
I'm just riding along with all the good energy that I get from being in this spot, like meeting all my track and field friends at the hotels and coming in here and seeing the fans and knowing I've done the work and now I just gotta enjoy the comp. That makes me really sharp, I feel like, and I feel the whole range of every emotion all at once, and I love sitting with that feeling. Knowing that I get to compete with the best.
So I feel like sometimes we hear people say they try and just treat it like any other meet, but it seems like you kind of lean into how special this environment is.
I really do. You only get this once a year, twice a year if you're lucky and live in Europe and you have the Olympics the same year as Euros. But I love being out on the big stage. Hearing the roar of everyone up there, seeing my family, seeing some blue and yellow up on the stands makes me so happy.
Yeah, so you capped it off with that PB in round 6, but it was a heck of a series leading up to that. Talk us through the competition a little bit.
I started out with some good speed, but it ended up in the cage. But I knew that throw was amazing, so I just walked up to my coach and he was like, just do the same thing over again, and that's all he kept telling me this whole comp. Just trust yourself, do the exact same thing. He knows I got some good feeling and I know what I want to do, so I'm just super focused on that.
Yeah, so now 5th in the world last year, 4th this year. First of all, it means you're at least getting a medal next time. But just what does it mean to you to be these past 2 years fully cementing yourself as one of the very best discus throwers in the world?
Thank you. I just love being on this journey, honestly. I love putting in the work, getting to travel the world and do this whole thing. So I forgot the question. I'm just talking, sorry.
No, you're okay. And you're getting these big results, and it's kind of mirroring what we've seen some of the Swedish guys do recently with Daniel and Simon. How exciting is it for you to kind of be bringing the women up to match what they're doing?
Yeah, I want to keep the Swedish flag going at these championships in the discus throw, knowing we can produce big throws, and we're such an amazing nation when it comes to the throws. I'm gonna give a shout out to Daniel, of course, Simon, who just retired, Victor did an amazing shot put competition the other day, and then Fanny Rose, of course, who I'm gonna be here supporting in a couple of days. So I'm just super happy that we're blue and yellow is delivering in the throws right now.
Lagi, 6th in the world, 65.49. A good day here in Tokyo. How are you feeling right now?
I've just been trying to beat myself this entire season. This is probably the second or the third farthest mark this year for me. I've preached consistency this entire season. I fucking got it. Obviously, there's always more that you want, but I felt like I earned this. I earned those 3 rounds by the skin of my chinny chin chin. But now I'm getting emotional. Late September, before I had a coaching change, and I just had a really heart-to-heart with Worski, and I said I just want to be consistent. I want to make some cash right now. I mean, this is how you stay afloat. I can't just not do anything and then do something and then not do anything. To come out here and get all 9 rounds was everything. I can always ask for more, but this wasn't a less. This wasn't. I got a taste of being 4th before I went down to 6th. Just proud.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a good end to the season,
Yes.
but just looking at the year in retrospect now, like, how much does 2025 mean to you?
Sorry. Most people who've watched my journey have seen me absolutely just dive 22, 23, excluding World Championship, and 23, and 24 just dive even further. This is the first year where I felt like a professional. It's the first year where I felt like I can actually go and get medals and not have to guess if I am a medal contender or not. And that means a lot. And so I'm walking away so happy with the 6th place finish, because all I've ever asked for was to be in medal contending spot or to make the rounds, and to see me make the rounds has been everything. I'm leaving here absolutely grateful. Yeah, I'm just 25. I know 23 was amazing. Don't get me wrong, to have that win, but this one takes the heart. This is the one where I'm like, I'm gonna make that Olympic team. I have a chance now. I can see that in the future, and I don't have to feel like I did in 24 and in 21.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about, preaching the consistency all year, and you got that. And I know a huge part of that was getting back to working with Worski.
Yes, definitely.
Like, can you just elaborate a little more on kind of the role he's played for you in bouncing back this year?
I kind of came back like a wounded bird. And Worski stuck his neck out for me with Coach Holloway. I want to thank him, especially at the University of Florida, for allowing me into that pro group, right? And for Worski, especially his wife Vicky, them two, they kind of took me in, helped house me while I was out there, and they understood the process of look, she's really insecure right now. She doesn't know if she wants to keep doing this. Let's just get her to the point where she's confident enough to be like, you can do this. And he's done that. His training group, someone like Lita, those 2 Dutch girls have my heart. And just to have people like that in your corner, and to cultivate that thought of belief, it's completely changed my perspective. And I owe that to him. Again, I said it before, a lot of this comes from external motivation, and I just want to let him know that I'm so thankful for him getting me here. He did the same in 2019, and I'm hoping to see it in the end of the squad.
Yeah. Now, zooming into the competition tonight a little bit more, I think it was 65.49 was in round 3 for you, and then 3 more at or about 62. How are you kind of feeling in the ring tonight?
It's literally a situation of I'm gassing it a little bit much. I said no, all gas, no brakes. With those things come just a little finicky things. I'm finally seeing that drive. You can see me being very aggressive out the back. Those are the things I want. My alignment's great. It's just in the small details that can really mess up a throw. Can't be too mad. This is how I've been practicing. I've seen bigger throws in practice, of course, but all around, just the way I kept my head through the motions. I'd say that I was pretty stable in the ring. No left sectors. Some nose dives in some certain in the warm-ups, but hell yeah, that's all I got. Hell yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, and the field was 8 women over 65 tonight.
Yeah.
It was, one of the best discus competitions, clean discus competitions ever. How much fun was it to just be feeding off that energy of everyone else?
I see all these women on the circuit, or I've seen them before. just to feel that energy and to see these people, because yes, it's competition, but when I really took the aspect out of like I'm trying to beat them, but I'm just trying to better me, it got to a point of genuine joy of just seeing, you know, a colleague essentially do well, and to see how deep that field was, like literally 65 to get to the top 8 was ridiculous. It just shows that like Discus is changing dramatically. Yeah, I took 69, that's fine, but then we had 67, 67, 66, and then all those 65s. The women are moving up. You know what I'm saying? We're closing the gap. We're becoming dangerous, and I'm excited for that. I'm excited to be a part of that, and hoping to be on the better end of that next time around.
Yeah, and you kind of hinted at it, but you were in 6th and barely got a 6th round throw. Like,
Yes.
Do you have any opinions on this new format they've rolled out this year?
You know what? I genuinely feel like they've changed so many things, and then they've revoked things and then put it back in place. I think what the women should take away from this, and everyone who has taken away from this, like, it's very unfair. We love to see those underdog stories. We love to see someone come who's literally in 8th place and decide to just take it all home, right? But we got to learn how to be in the top 3. Top 3 always gets all 6 throws. That's what we're vying for. That's what the women out there were vying for. And so it didn't really bother us. It sucked to see those other rounds go by. But I mean, can't really complain about it. It's like the law right now. We'll whisper about it in private, but until they do something else, oh well.
Yeah, and now looking forward to 2026, is there any chance we see you like maybe move to Gainesville full time, or is it the situation you and Worski have right now is working? So?
It works well. I currently just bought a house in San Diego.
Okay.
I'm getting my life together.
That kind of answers the question.
So yeah, so it's like it's kind of difficult that way. I don't know. It works perfectly well. Worski is top notch when it comes to long distance. I've never had to worry like have the videos been sent or not. Sponsors are like this, doesn't matter about the 3-hour difference. It works well, and I just know a different format has to happen. In the beginning of the season this year, I only did 1 week a month. It's time to take the time to do at least 2 weeks a month each time, and then see where that really goes. Again, we had such a short time together to get things going with that belief and everything. I just know next year is going to be nasty. It's just going to be nasty.
You're going to keep racking up those frequent flyer miles.
Yeah.